Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So, Sag, today we're going to go over your energy. We're going to focus on your past, present, as well as your future, and then we're going to see the ultimate outcome of your current situation. But before we do all of that, let's see what Spirit wants you to know about your current situation for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So we do have memories, which is very similar to the Six of Cups in Tarot. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but we have the past is calling, bringing nostalgia and warmth. Reflect on the lessons and joy from earlier times, but remain grounded in the present. Allow positive memories to inspire your current path with renewed innocence and hope. Okay, we'll see ultimately why you're getting this card. There's just a lot of reminiscing going on, and it could be happening on your behalf or somebody else's behalf, but I'm kind of getting like an energy of somebody missing how things used to be. Yeah, somebody's definitely missing how things used to be. But ultimately, like I said, we'll see why you're getting this card, but let's focus on the past really quickly here for you. We do have the Eight of Swords. Okay. I'm getting an energy of you just feeling like trapped within your own thoughts. We'll see about what though, but currently at the moment we do have the Knight of Pentacles. Whatever was keeping you trapped, in your own thoughts, it could have been like a relationship that was like really stressing you out, or like possibly your job that was stressing you out, or maybe there was just a person in particular that was stressing you out, because I'm getting a lot of stress. But with the Knight of Pentacles coming out here, I feel like you're slowly but surely moving away from that energy of feeling trapped within your own thoughts and just being under a great deal of stress. Now, in the near future, we do have the Queen of Cups, which is really, really nice to see. I feel like you're going to find yourself in a much better place mentally, spiritually, and emotionally in the near future. But let's see what was keeping you so trapped in your own thoughts, or what was stressing you out. Okay, so you kind of found yourself in a situation that wasn't really making you happy, to be completely honest. Whatever this thing was that wasn't making you happy, it was something that, yeah, it was something that wasn't making you happy for quite some time now, but I'm also getting like an energy of you feeling stuck, wanting to get out, but not seeing a way out, So you spend a lot of time thinking about how much you want out of the situation and how unhappy you are. And I feel like, this whole not seeing a way out kind of kept you, in a very stuck and stagnant place, but also kind of made you feel extremely paralyzed. But with the World to the Empress to the Nine of Cups coming out here, it's like you're finally starting to see that way out. Something that I do feel like you were very blind to for whatever reason. It's like the exit door was always there. You just didn't necessarily see it. And I feel like it was because your thoughts were kind of like paralyzing you in a way. But it kind of looks like that's starting to become a thing of the past, because I do see you regaining control over your life all over again. In other words, it kind of looks like you go from feeling like you don't have any sort of control to feeling like you actually have more control than you essentially thought you did. Now, currently at the moment, we do have the Knight of Pentacles. So let's see what's going on with that. So we do have the Seven of Wands to the Queen of Pentacles to the Two of Wands. I feel like somebody made you feel this way. Somebody definitely made you feel this way. Somebody made you feel like you didn't have any sort of control. I am definitely getting that. But now that you're out of that, you're very determined to not allow anyone else to ever make you feel that way ever again. I'm also getting that you learned a lot through this experience. There's a huge possibility that you could have been putting somebody else before yourself, or you could have been putting somebody else's happiness before your own. But it kind of looks like you're determined to not make those same mistakes again. Yeah, very determined to not make those same mistakes again. I feel like you're already starting to find yourself feeling 10 times better now that you're not in this entire situation anymore. This could definitely represent like a very toxic and unhealthy marriage and a relationship that you're a part of. But we do see you drifting away from that toxic, person and our marriage and our relationship. And like I said, very determined to not make those same mistakes again. I feel like in this previous relationship, you also learn how important it is to establish boundaries, with people. And like the moment that person doesn't like respect your feelings, your wishes, and or boundaries, you're not going to handle, that whole situation the same way you handled it in the past. Like maybe this person that you were dealing with didn't respect how you feel, or they didn't respect your boundaries, and you just allowed them to, like, walk all over you. Well, we don't see you allowing that to ever happen to you again. Okay, so you learned a lot. Nonetheless, you learned a lot. I think that you've gained a lot of, wisdom off of this previous relationship that you were in. Now, in the near future, we do have the Queen of Cups with the Nine of Pentacles to the Moon, and then we also have the Seven of Swords. Okay. Okay. I feel like there's somebody here. I feel like this is the person that you left behind, though, but I feel like there's somebody here that's going to attempt to, like, wiggle their way back into your life all over again. And to be honest, I feel like it's this person that you ended things with, is basically what I'm getting. They're going to attempt to, like, wiggle their way back into your life all over again. It kind of looks like the moment this relationship came to an end between the two of you, it's like they turned around and they just basically accepted it. But it kind of looks like they're coming back around your way, and it's with the intentions of wanting to essentially wiggle their way back into your life all over again. To be completely honest, I'm not a huge fan of this person's return, and here's why. We have the Seven of Swords to the Moon, so that's kind of telling me that this person has not changed whatsoever. They have not changed whatsoever. They're basically the same old, they haven't put any sort of work towards, changing and improving whatever it is that they need to change and or improve about themselves, is basically what I'm getting. But I was getting that there was, like, an energy of somebody, like, reminiscing on, like, the good old times and how things used to be. And it's basically this person. It's basically this person over here that's been reminiscing and thinking about you a lot and wanting to, like, reconnect with you all over again. The only issue that I have, I would say, with this person is that they have not changed. Like, this person puts more effort towards trying to convince you that they've changed than actually putting in the work to change. At the end of the day, I think that this person is very consciously aware that they did a lot of things to self-sabotage things here between the two of you. This is something that this person's consciously aware of. Nobody needs to tell them this, but the best apology is change behavior. That is the best apology, is change behavior. And I feel like that's the problem, right? Is that, yeah, they more than likely are going to come back around your way and own up to whatever it is that they did and apologize to you for it, and then tell you that they're going to change or that they have changed. But I think that this person spends a little bit too much time trying to convince you that they're going to change, or that they have changed, or that they truly are sorry, than actually putting in the work to actually change. So that's the biggest issue, I would say, that I have with this person's return, and it's something that I really need you to be careful with. Now, as far as the ultimate outcome is concerned, we do have the Tower to the King of Cups. We also have the Four of Wands, and then we also have the Queen of Wands. Okay, as far as the ultimate outcome is concerned, I don't feel like you're anticipating or expecting this person's return. For a lot of you, you could have been under the impression that, no, like, it's over between me and this person. Like, we're done. I'm never going to see them again. They're never going to see me again. It's done. It is done, and it's over with, But the fact that this person's resurfacing back up here for you, it is definitely going to catch you off guard, because it wasn't anything that you were anticipating or expecting to, like, happen as far as, like, their return is concerned. I am definitely getting that a lot has essentially changed with you. And I would like to look a little bit more into this Queen of Wands energy, just to kind of, like, see what's going on with you, because a lot has essentially changed within you since this ending occurred between the two of you. In other words, you're not the same person anymore. Tell me more about the Queen of Wands. Wow. Yeah, they're not going to expect this from you. We have the Ace of Swords, so Seven of Pentacles, so Six of Swords. During this time that the two of you spent apart from one another, I feel like you learned a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like you've done a lot of reflecting on your relationship, with this person. And I feel like you You basically realized that this is somebody who just clearly does not value you and or deserve you. Um, and I just kind of see you accepting that, you know what I mean, and making peace, with that. I feel like this person's resurfacing back up here for you in hopes that they're going to get the same person that they originally fell in love with, but it kind of looks like they're not. That's the thing. They're not. A lot has changed, within you. You don't see this person the same way you used to see them. You don't, have these strong and intense emotions for them like you used to. Your perspective of this person, it has truly changed. Um, it truly has changed. So even though, yes, I do see you being very surprised by their return, I don't see you accepting this person back into your life ever again. And I think that that's going to shock them. And I think that that's going to, surprise them. And it's because you've always taken them back. You've always forgiven them. So they're assuming that the same is going to happen again, and unfortunately for them, I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. Um, I just don't see that happening, unfortunately, for them. But I think that, moving forward, not only are you determined to not make the same mistakes again, but I feel like you have a better understanding of what you truly want and desire. I feel like this relationship has definitely taught you what you want within a person, what you don't want within a person. So moving forward, you're very determined to make room for what you truly want and desire. Also, too, you're going to be very selective of who you choose to invest your time and energy towards. If that person doesn't align to like you and what you're looking for and what you want, you're not going to spend all this time waiting for that person to become what you want them to become. You're not going to spend all this time waiting for this person to change, because that's what you did over here. You spend so much time waiting for that person to change, waiting for that person to show up in the ways you needed them to show up. And that amount of time that you spent waiting, is time that you just cannot get back. So you're going to be very selective when it comes down to who you choose to invest your time and energy towards. As far as this individual is concerned, it kind of looks like they lost you in this dynamic that they share with you for good, and that's going to be a very tough pill, for this person to swallow. But to be honest, I feel like this person has no choice but to just accept the fact that you're done with them. Okay, so that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.